I am sorry about the earlier live. Back to that last live. It's a very informative live stream. I gave everybody the business. This is live number 2. I've got 3 topics, 3 hot topics in one live. We're going to make it count. You're going to give me your opinions. God, please don't let another alarm go off during this live. 3-part live, everybody. A woman has been arrested for trying to sell her baby in Texas on Facebook. Man from Wisconsin attempted to fake his own death. And number 3, could you live in a trailer park? Please go to my community page and check out that video I posted where this guy went live talking to a guy that lived in a trailer park. And he's talking about, the economics of America and people living in trailer parks. Some people rent, some people pay a lot fee and own their trailer. Could you do it? Take the polls on my community page. Let's get down to business. I'd like to donate to this great network, $BigAngie, 129 Cash App. Stickers and chats are always welcome during the live stream. Hello, Ashley. Thank you for joining me. 3-part live, so hang on. Houston woman charged for attempting to sell her newborn son. Fox 26 is the source. Harris County court documents state 21-year-old Juniper Bryson has been charged for attempting to sell her newborn son to multiple people for after she gave birth. Bryson's family member confirmed Bryson was looking for compensation for the baby. At one point, she tried to get $150 from a couple for the newborn. According to court records, Bryson claimed she was concerned the baby would test positive for drugs and didn't want her child to go into foster care. Well, many people are going to say, well, you should not have been getting high on drugs. Juniper Bryson, she is a Caucasian female. She's been charged with felony for attempting to sell her unborn child to the highest bidder. According to court documents, 21-year-old is charged with sale or purchase of a child after she asked people for compensation, take her child from the hospital because she didn't want the baby going into foster care and was concerned that the baby would test positive for drugs. Bryson asked a family member on September 20th, 21st, if they knew anyone willing to adopt, and the family member reached out to other people on Facebook to look for possible parents wanting to adopt. Records state in the family member's Facebook post, she said Bryson needs someone there during labor and take the baby boy home. She doesn't want him going into foster care. When Bryson mentioned receiving money for the child, the family member told her it was illegal and she sounded crazy, officials say. She later told authorities she had no idea of Bryson's true intentions when she originally reached out. Is that true? She didn't know that the girl wanted money for selling the child. Based on court records of their conversation, Bryson told the family member she just needed enough to move into an apartment so I can work, get a job, or cheap down payment on any car to get to different places to DoorDash. Nothing crazy at all, quote unquote. That is a picture of the suspect who wanted to sell her child on Facebook, Juniper Bryson. In a Facebook group for birth mothers looking for adoptive parents, Bryson posted on September 22nd that she was willing to travel and she was contracting, so it had to be done soon. Yes, contracting. Court records claim another woman was at the hospital at the time Bryson gave birth because she was hoping to adopt the baby. The woman told authorities she reached out to Bryson about her unborn son at the time, since she's licensed to adopt and foster children. After a conversation, the woman arrived at the hospital since Bryson seemed she would give birth sooner than her due date. At the hospital, the woman says Bryson gave birth on September 24th, and after conducting tests, the hospital confirmed drugs were in the newborn's body. Officials say Bryson posted a picture of the infant on Facebook and tagged the woman, who then began receiving messages asking, "Did you buy her baby?" It wasn't until after the woman realized what was going on and reported the screenshots of the original Facebook post to the nurse and involved Child Protective Services. At the time, the woman says Bryson had not asked her for compensation, but knew the 21-year-old asked other women for money, documents state. So she's saying that Bryson had not asked her for any money, but knew she asked other women for money. The woman reported after seeing Bryson's phone that she was waiting for the highest bidder in exchange for her son. So how did she look at her phone to know that? Very interesting. Court documents state after investigating Bryson's phone, she was in communication with multiple people asking for money if they wanted her baby. In one text message chain, Bryson asked for a minimum of $150 up front from a couple driving to Houston from Louisiana. When they refused to pay, Bryson allegedly said if her baby wasn't worth $200 to them, then screw y'all. Wow. Bryson said her bond, initially set at $30,000, has been increased to $60,000 on that Thursday. So I'm assuming she's still locked up. Haven't heard that she got out. What the hell is wrong with this chick? Come on now. You know you're not supposed to be selling children on the internet, ma'am. Now. Drugs, baby induced, baby has drugs in the system. No telling what was wrong with the baby. Don't know how the baby's doing now. God forbid. Whoever gets this baby, the baby has long-term effects. So you just never know when you adopt a child what's going to be wrong with a child. And this woman obviously has been using drugs, probably hardcore drugs. Don't know how long she's been on it, but she's young, 21. Didn't care for herself. But the fact that she didn't ask that one lady for money, that interview has been on the news. Feel free to go on the YouTube queue to check out the interview. Why did she ask that lady for money? I'm curious. Or she's just going to push the baby out there and say, oh, yeah, by the way, I need some money before you can take the baby home. This is all bizarre. Then we have the relative saying, oh, I didn't know she was trying to sell the baby. I just, posted it to see if anybody, wanted to try to get the baby. But I think most of us know that this wasn't going to work out. Even if the relative didn't know she wanted money for the baby, it's just a bad look to go to Facebook to say, hey, my relative is pregnant. She can't take care of the child. She's looking for a needy family to take the baby in. I still think it would be a problem, even if there was no money involved, just because. She could easily say, the people took her kid, came by to pick up the baby one day to take the baby out on the outing, and then next thing you know, say, oh, they kidnapped my kid. No, bad business. You don't know her. 2, she's a drug addict, and we're not going to sugarcoat anything. You cannot trust anybody that is using narcotics. So they'll make up anything. So there's no way I would trust taking your baby or buying a baby. Number one, buying a baby is illegal, and I don't recommend it. 2, I don't recommend you taking her baby and say, oh, I'll raise the baby, because that is a recipe for disaster. Something bad most definitely would happen. You took her baby and you start getting into the groove of having that baby at your house. You can best believe authorities would be at your door. Authorities would be at your door. It's just crazy. What a story. Juniper is her name. Interesting name. Juniper Bryson has been charged with a felony for attempting to sell her unborn child to the highest bidder. She is in the Harrison County. She gave birth to a baby in Harris County. Juniper, your best advice is that if you are ever able to get out of jail, whenever that is, you'll probably do some prison time. Probably a short stint. You need to get your life together. I don't think you're going to get the appropriate care while incarcerated, but you definitely need therapy. You definitely need to enter a rehab program to get off the drugs, because jail does not deter people from not getting high. We learned that drugs make their way into the penal system. So we have to, hope for her sake she'll get a hold of drugs inside of there. And even when she gets out, that she'll return to using drugs, or she'll be right back in this situation again, or God forbid, something worse. I don't know her troubles. I don't know where she came from. I don't know who her parents are. But obviously she don't have family, or she would have no need to go to Facebook trying to sell a kid. She gladly asked her mom or dad or grandmother or aunt, hey, can you take the kid in? I don't have the resources. I know the baby's going to have drugs in his system. And then you got to ask that question too. Did she tell Facebook the baby had drugs in its system? When the relative posted that the baby was in need of a family, did you also say, oh yeah, the mother says the baby's got drugs in the system? Probably not. Because there are not too many people that probably would want a baby with drugs in his or her system. just because you'd be worried about complications and further complications as the child ages. Juniper Bryson, 21, $60,000 bail. What a hot butter mess. Next story. Ooh, this is a hot one too. Wisconsin. We're going to leave Texas to go to Wisconsin. We're traveling around the globe, everybody. We are traveling. I'm going to jump out of here and go in my search engine. Pull up this story. This really wicked story. A Wisconsin man attempted to fake his death back in the summer. He has now made contact with law enforcement. A video has been uploaded to the news. He is in a foreign country, Eastern Europe, and he has no plans to return to the United States. What a hot butter mess. Oh, Lordy. CBS News is the source. Thank you all for joining me. Hello, everybody in the chat. Second subject. This is the man. This is the fool who has faked his death, attempted to anyway. They do not know where he is exactly. He has no plans to return. Authorities are urging a Wisconsin man accused of faking his death and fleeing to Europe to come home and spend the holidays with his wife and 3 children. Law enforcement, let the Queen talk to you for just a second. Please stop this nonsense. Why is he going to want to come home when he left his wife? He's been gone for months. He's made no attempt to contact her, his children, obviously family members, unless some of them are lying and holding this ugly secret. He left for a reason. He plotted. He planned it. He didn't just look up one day and say, I'm going to leave my wife and kids. He meticulously planned it. How he went about it, putting the money in a different account, getting another passport. None of that happens overnight. Okay? Don't come in this chat with this nonsense. Throw me off my game. If you can't stick to the subject matter of this live stream, please remove yourself. Thank you. Ryan Borgward, 45, went missing on August 12th. Wow, that's my dad's birthday. Dang. While kayaking in Green Lake, about 50 miles northeast of Wisconsin Dells. Oh, good old Wisconsin Dells. Crews spent 54 days searching the lake, which is more than 200 feet deep at points to no avail. 54 days. So that's 1 month. 24 days. That's just ridiculous. The entire search effort cost nearly $40,000, according to Green Lake County Sheriff Mark Podol. Great news. We now know he's alive and well, Podol said in a press conference on Thursday. The bad news is that we don't know where Ryan exactly is, and he has not decided to return home. Podol said investigators have been in email contact with Borgward since earlier this month and played a cell phone video he had sent them on November 11th. I'm in my apartment. I'm safe, secure, Borgward said in a video. Borgward has since admitted to staging his disappearance by overturning his kayak, paddling back to shore in a child-sized inflatable boat, riding his e-bike to a bus station, busing from Detroit to Canada, and then flying to Europe. So once he got out of the water in that inflatable child-sized boat, this man is crazy. Could have drowned, he's dumbass. Where did you park the e-bike? Because you took it to a bus station. So what, you just left the bike there for a homeless person to get it, or somebody randomly walk up? Here's a free bicycle. So he took the e-bike to a bus station, busing from Detroit to Canada, and then flying to Europe. So how far was this bus station from the shore where he got out of the kayak? This is so damn crazy. People, it's like TV listening to this. It's something they would do in a movie. Poto says his investigators discovered in early October that this man had entered Canada a day after his disappearance. He synced his laptop to the cloud a few days earlier, swapped out his hard drive, and cleared his search history. So for those of you who are not familiar with upstate, you can travel to Canada from Detroit, Michigan. Ask me how I know, because I've done it. You can go through, ride a bus at that time. I'm assuming maybe this is the way he did it. And hop a bus, Greyhound or Trailways or whoever's running a bus, if they're still doing it, and pass through Canada from Detroit, Michigan, through the tunnel. If you did not know this, so I'm giving you information you may not know. This is so crazy to me. So he entered Canada a day after his disappearance, syncing laptops days earlier, swapped out the hard drive, cleared the search, but little did he know he didn't do it thoroughly. They also determined he had taken out $375,000 life insurance policy for his family in January, transferred the money to a foreign bank, set up a new email address, and purchased airline cards, had been in contact with the woman living in Uzbekistan, and they were eventually able to contact him through this Russian-speaking woman. Let me get this thing off my screen. Okay. Poto became emotional during Thursday's press conference, saying Borgwart's family wants him to return home. He implored Borgwarts to clean up the mess that he has created. Christmas is coming, and what better gift he could give his kids is to be there for Christmas with them. The sheriff says no criminal charges have been filed yet, but Borgwarts could be charged with obstruction of justice. Borgward is from Waterton, located about 50 miles northwest of Milwaukee. Now, the article I read before this, that's in the queue in the search engine, said maybe there weren't going to be any charges. Well, you all want him to get back so you can't charge him. I'm not stupid. That's exactly what you're trying to do. You're trying to get this man back so you can charge him. The point is, he left for a reason. Does he have regrets? I don't know. Don't know what his life is like overseas. Don't know this woman. Don't know if they're really in love. And what she has to ask herself is that if this man is willing to do this to his wife and children, he would do it to you. As soon as something doesn't go his way with you, you say something he doesn't like, he will gladly jump ship. And that's what women need to understand about men, women as well. You get with somebody that's willing to abandon their family, their wife, their husband, with no notice, fake their death, attempt to fake their death. You don't think they wouldn't do it to you? Of course they would. And even if the person's not faking their death, they're out here sleeping around, cheating on the spouse. The spouse has no idea. You as this side piece, lover, whomever, if he decided to be with you or she decides to be with you, they can do it to you as well. Death faked or not. That's the point that nobody's paying attention to. That you're with people who are being deceptive. So if they can be deceptive with the last person, they can be deceptive with you. And when you start talking about faking deaths, transferring money, you're on a whole new level of deviance. He's taken out a $375,000 life insurance policy for his family in January, transferred the money into a foreign bank. So that means he cashed out the life insurance. Stay woke now. Because you can cash out policies. I don't know the procedure, how long it has to be, that you have to have a policy to cash it out, but obviously that is what he has done. Wow, wow, wow. Well, Mary, I'm not her. That's the point. Everybody has their own reasoning for how they feel. And as I had said before to you all briefly in commentary, because I didn't go in depth to this conversation, but I am now. I got to come up for air because this story is crazy to me. Number one, does she want her husband home? Number two, did he tell somebody of his plan and they did not tell the wife? 3, how long has he been planning this ruse? Was he cheating on his wife with any other women or in their marriage? How long had they been married? What other type of improprieties has he done in the marriage? So now you got to really go deep in the belly of the beast of this nonsense, because when you have a person that's this deviant, you start wondering what else have they done? How did he talk to her? How did he treat her? Did he get along with his wife? Did he get along with his children? Did he feel trapped? Why did he do this? How long had he been planning it? See, 1,000 questions. Who is this woman? How long had he been talking to this other woman? Can she speak English? Can he speak Russian? Is he really happy over there? How does he like living over there? He said he's in an apartment. Is he in an apartment or is he in a house? What type of work does she do? How long does he think that money's going to last over there? Is this woman trying to swindle him? Ding, ding, ding. Thousands of questions. Of course, nobody's going to care, because people are going to feel like, well, I don't give a damn if she does try to swindle him out the money. Look what he's done to his wife and children. And who's to say this woman's not a grifter? That would be his ultimate payback, would it not? He's taken up with a foreign woman, thinks he's in love, over there, moves in with her, and next thing you know, his ass actually does come up missing. Say, well, bet y'all missed that, didn't you? He actually comes up missing. And guess what? Imagine had he not left a trail, and he goes over here to Europe, and this woman's on the grift, and she kills him. She gets his money, access to his bank accounts, whatever he took over there, and nobody even knows he's actually dead. Wow. If that ain't a lifetime Netflix movie for you. See, you don't know people. Married to somebody, sharing a life with this person, secrets, ups, downs, pets, and you don't even know that they don't want to be with you. They don't have the guts to tell you, hey, I'm not happy. I don't want to be a father. I don't want to be a husband. I want out. So we have to ask ourselves, how long has he been feeling this way? What's the real motive for leaving? Was he just unhappy? Or he met this lady by accident, fell in love? Or he went looking for companionship, conversation, fell in love? So all that's going to matter into the motive and how long this relationship has been going on with this Russian-speaking female. Is she from Russia, born in Russia, or she just can speak Russian? Don't matter. I'm just asking all the questions. This is crazy. But the sad part is the obvious. A woman has been deceived by her husband, and children have been deceived by their father. And that is the part of the story that's just devastating, is that they were walking around with this man. He was walking around them, and they all thought they had some great life, I'm sure. They loved their father. She loved her husband. But little did they know he was not in tune to them. And you see this type of behavior all the time. And I've talked about this before in my video about men in relationships. Please check out the video I uploaded last week, that you don't really know people. And that even when you see pictures of people, I say this all the time, they're taking pictures on social media, they're going swimming, they're going out of town, they're traveling, they're taking the kids to Disneyland, they're taking trips to the cabin, Airbnbs. You're looking at the pictures and you're saying to yourself, oh, wow, they look happy. Oh, they got a pretty house. Oh, they got nice cars. They got 2 dogs and a cat, blah, blah, blah. And little do you know that somebody in that circle is miserable as hell. That part. Somebody is miserable as hell. Somebody wants out. Somebody's a drinker, a drug addict, gambler. Somebody's not good with money. Somebody's spending too much money. Somebody's a hoarder. Somebody's not paying attention to the children. Somebody's abusing the children. Somebody's having an affair. Somebody's on the down low. They're bisexual. Somebody's cheating. Hello? Ain't got enough fingers. You don't know people. And would it be jacked up if he was exhibiting weird, whack-ass behavior and the wife stayed? She saw that he wasn't in tune to her and the kids. He was having affairs, talking to other women, rude to them, nasty to them, wasn't attentive, wasn't affectionate. And she can look back and say, damn, I saw the signs, but I stayed anyway. What's her story? What is this lady's journey pertaining to her life with this liar, deceiver, Borgwart? What a damn last name. I'm sure she'll be changing that back to her maiden name. Ma'am, my advice to you is to file for divorce and file for abandonment. You have the proof now because he has talked to law officials. They have released this video. They probably showed it to you before it went to print, to the news. And I would file for abandonment. I'd also file for theft with this life insurance policy. He's stolen money. And I would move forward. You'll probably have to hire a big wig to try to trace the money. And that will probably cost thousands of dollars that you probably don't have. Don't know your income status. But it'll probably cost a lot trying to track that money. So you may have to say, the hell with it. It's going to be up to you. And what investigators can find, or private investigators. This is a story, is it not? But this goes back to what the Queen talks about on this network. That you don't know people. You don't know the thought process of people. You don't know what people really think about you. People smile and laugh in people's faces all the time, but really they don't like you. You don't really like them. But you don't say anything. You ride the wave. I've done it many times. Been in the company of people I really did not care for. They happen to be sitting at a table with me and other people. I may have been in their house, staying with them, visiting, in a group, at work. And all I wanted to say is, I really don't like your ass. But I don't say anything. Because sometimes you have to say, what's the point? And some circumstances don't warrant you saying anything. God knows I'm a good actress. I can say I did it recently. In the company of somebody, and I'm looking at them like, bitch, I know what you did. And you must think I don't know. Now, could I be wrong about this person, what I think they did? Could be, but I'm going to bet my bottom dollar they did what I think they did. Do I have to talk about it now? Nope. Should I have said something years ago? I could have, but I didn't. So imagine being in a relationship with somebody and you feel contempt for him or her. And you're plotting something deviant. I just thank God he didn't kill his wife, because we've seen the flip side of feeling some type of way about a person. We see this all the time, people unaliving their spouses and children. And usually it's the male that does the unaliving. So this lady should be very grateful that she's alive, because we don't really know if this man even thought about unaliving her and those kids to be rid of them. Because I can tell you now, he's not fit to be with anybody, because he doesn't know how to deal with his emotions. This ain't nothing but a, underrated version of Chris Watts. Because what you always have to tell yourself, if you're dirty enough to pull off a stunt like this, fake your death, do all this moving money around and transferring policies and cashing out policies, going out in the middle of the lake in the dark, paddling back to shore, riding a bicycle into town to ride a damn bus. Oh yeah, I think you'd be capable of murdering somebody. Why not? Because we don't know this man. And he has obviously shown his own wife and children and family members, friends, they didn't know him. So if we don't know you as the public, your family didn't know you, who's to say that you wouldn't have killed these people? You just felt like, shit, I ain't gonna take that route. I'll just take the money and run on over here to Europe. But see, this lady that's in cahoots with him, you are a fool. Because you now know the truth about this white man. He cannot be trusted. And if he would do this to his own wife and kids, he would surely do it to you. And like I said, what would be the gist of this story is if we find out she's on the grift. She went looking for somebody, maybe on a social media site, date site. He was on there. See, you got to ask that question. Was he on a date site? How did he meet her? Because more than likely, he met her on a date site. Ding, ding, ding. And we know that these foreign women want American men because they think they have money. They think that our lives are so great over here. So for all we know, he met a grifter. She's a grifter. And she's trying to figure out a way to get him. And he fell for it. Left his wife, kids, to go be with her. Could this be a case that he was really a great guy, but was lonely, unhappy, went on the internet, got hooked up with this lady, cashed out policies, and left? The only people that's going to say that he was a nice guy are people who liked him. Friends, family. Most people with a sound judgment is going to say, well, I don't really care if he was a nice guy. What he did, this ain't too nice. Oh, we thank you for sparing their lives and not thinking about murdering them and taking off, but you have ruined these people, their idea of who you were or who they thought you were. And that's even more devastating because now you have to walk around feeling hoodwinked and bamboozled by somebody who you called your husband, your father, your son, your brother, your friend, your coworker, your neighbor. And I'm sure a lot of people are questioning their dealings with this man. Well, who is he? Who have I been talking to all these years? Who have I been sitting beside at the job? So let's ask that question. What type of work has this man done? What type of work did this man do? Borg Wart is his name. Hell, did they even sell his Ryan, 45 years of age, Caucasian male. I believe he's of foreign descent. Law officials have been in contact with him. They have a video that they've released to the public. Right here, he's in an apartment saying he is safe, but he has no plans on returning to America to reunite with his family. What do you all think of this story of Ryan running off, cashing out policies, life insurance policy, moving money, no notice to the wife and children? Did he tell friends or family he was leaving? Is there somebody out here holding the secret that knew all along he was leaving his wife? Because that's going to be even more jacked up if we find out there's a brother, sister, or mother or father that knew. And they've been in contact with him, but didn't tell the wife. Bingo card. Wow, wow, wow. Ryan. Ryan knows not to come back here because the prosecutors will probably try to find some type of charge against him. And see, we don't know if his name is the only name on that policy as the payee. I mean, the payer. He the one orchestrated the life insurance policy. Now, my understanding is you have to get permission to put people on policies, but I don't know if that's true or not. Because as you see, he cashed it out, and the wife obviously didn't have any knowledge if her name was actually on the documents for with her husband. Because I would think if her name was on there as the original son, the insurance company had the right to notify her that the husband wanted to cash it out. This is why you have to be careful putting your name on anything such as bank accounts with people, because a person can easily go in a bank account, take all the money out, take lump sums of money out without your knowledge. And you're sitting there looking crazy, wondering why there's money missing in your account that you are sharing with somebody else. And I understand it's supposed to be our money, not your money. But it's also disturbing to find out later you've been misled. You've been lied to, deceived. And that is where this woman stands now. She has been hoodwinked and bamboozled by this man here, her husband, Ryan. He's a deceiver. And this woman can't trust him. And even if in his heart of hearts, he thought he was doing the right thing, he thinks he's in love, he would be the main one that would get duped just because of what he has done to his wife and children. And that usually happens because karma is a you-know-what. Mr. Ryan would get back 7 times what he gave his wife and children. This would definitely be a diabolical Lifetime movie. He goes over to the other side of the pond, tangles himself up with this foreign lady to only end up broke or dead. Imagine that. Subject number 3. I was watching a video on YouTube earlier about trailer park living. Great video. Great video. And I asked myself, could I live in a trailer? So I posed this question to the chat. Can you live in a trailer? Can you buy a trailer and put it on someone's lot and pay a lot fee? Because I never knew this went on until now. And there was a debacle going on over in Maryville, Tennessee, outside of Knoxville, where these people are being evicted from their trailer and they have nowhere to go. Don't know the status of their situation, but it was on the news. Feel free to check it out in the YouTube queue. And one thing I was hearing them talk about, I think, was moving of a trailer. So imagine you own a trailer, but you've been paying somebody money to keep it on their property. So it's almost like you're renting your own property that you own. And then that person decides to sell the property. Now you're stuck trying to move out this trailer and take your trailer to another plot of land. And I'm sure many people didn't know anything about this because I had no idea. But as I said on my community page, there were, I used to wash clothes years ago at this laundromat. And it was in the trailer park. And I washed there because it was so cheap to wash clothes, you know. And I noticed a sign on the door where the person said, "We are not renting any trailers." And I thought, well, what do you mean you're not renting trailers? So I said, damn, the people own the trailers here? So then the first thing I thought, well, if you own the trailers, if the people own the trailers, what would they need a manager for? That was so confusing to me. So I'm learning now about this trailer business. And you're going to hear commentary in this video here. The guy being interviewed, he says there's no value in you buying a trailer and putting it on someone's property and pay a lot fee because the trailer does not appreciate in value. For those who did not know this, it's not like a house. A house appreciates in time. The trailer does not. And that makes sense. You're going to spend all this money for a trailer, $100,000, $200,000, $250,000, put it on somebody's lot. Then you're going to pay him a lot fee or her a lot fee. How are you gaining anything? Because if anything happens to this person's property, he or she now has to tell you to get the hell off their property with your trailer. And God forbid you don't have any money to move it. Now you got to leave your trailer behind that you just paid $200,000, $250,000, $100,000, and also try to find you somewhere else to live. Let's play a little bit of this video so you can get a glimpse of what's talking about. Nick Johnson is the proprietor of this YouTube video. I'm not going to play much of it, but you'll get the gist of it. It's on my community page. Feel free to check out his YouTube channel. He has 1.1 million subscribers. Woo, must be nice.
That's how we roll. I'm Brooke Monsteller in South Carolina.
The good old American trailer park. Trailer parks, or mobile home parks like these, have a huge image problem where in many minds, they're just shorthand for poverty. Trailer parks like these certainly aren't very nice and are going to be far less expensive than a home in a neighborhood just down the road. But who are the people who live in trailer parks, and what's it like living in one? And why are there so many trailer parks in South Carolina? For this video, we're going to talk about poverty here, the economics behind trailer parks, and put into perspective why so many people choose to live in trailer parks in this state and in America. What we'll talk about is very sad, and it's an insight into just how crazy the U.S. housing market has become.
So driving around these trailer parks here in Myrtle Beach, it's a simple life back here in some of these communities, which I can really appreciate. It's a little too close for comfort for me. But what does this say about the state of the U.S.
Now, what does he mean by that?
People
Too close for comfort.
To afford to live in a neighborhood, or they choose to live like this? I'm looking around some of these places.
So, Nick, I'm going to ask you, do you not like trailer parks? Do you not want to have them near your home? Because you said too close for comfort. So I'd like to know, what did you mean by that statement? Just asking. Just curious. Let's take a brief road trip with Mr. Nick.
This is in Myrtle Beach and the rest of South Carolina, and I'd say it's more of a need than a want. Let's take a look at what in the hell happened in South Carolina.
20 million Americans live in mobile homes. And if you added up all the mobile homes in the country, more than 6% of all U.S. houses are mobile homes, just like these. But here in South Carolina, that number is close to 20%. Yes, 1 in 5
that's his
homes in
opinion.
South Carolina.
I'm not here to argue about it.
And if South Carolina is the trailer park capital of the world, that would make Myrtle Beach the trailer park HQ. There's trailer parks all over Myrtle Beach, known as a vacation getaway for many Americans. But it's certainly not a vacation for the people struggling with everyday expenses and who live in mobile home communities, just like this. Here's a map which has just some of the mobile home park communities listed on Google. This isn't all of them. Many aren't labeled as mobile home parks, and others are just big sections of land with large areas where lots of trailers and mobile homes have gathered throughout the years. Now we're going to...
You don't have to argue with the person in the chat. It's common sense.
Here in Myrtle Beach, there's rundown trailer parks.
A trailer has no value on somebody else's lot. We're talking about trailers on a private lot that don't belong to you. You bought the trailer, but the trailer is on Joe Blow's lot, not yours. So how can it have value? It's just like renting an apartment. You don't get value by renting an apartment because that's not your apartment. You're renting. You don't own it, such as like being in a condo building. The value goes up by the neighborhood, so then the value of the condo will go up. And then if the condo's in good, pristine condition, then you can command a certain amount if you wanted to sell the condo. That's not this type of situation. We're talking about people who have trailers on somebody else's lot. You don't own the lot. Could you live in a trailer? Could you live in a trailer on your own property, number one? And could you live in a trailer on somebody else's property where you have to pay a lot fee? Yes, very rare, obviously. But this is what I always say about people who come in the chat and don't listen.
Nicer parks. Some are even brand new and don't look too bad, actually. Now, if you look at statistics on which states have the highest percentage of mobile homes, South Carolina is at the top.
Wow.
What you'll also see is 7 of the top 10 are southern states. And when you compare the poorest states to those which have the highest number of trailer parks, something's missing. South Carolina.
Tennessee's up there.
So does that mean living in trailer parks here is more of a lifestyle choice? Kinda, but more on that later. The big question is, how do trailer parks and mobile homes become the cheap housing of choice for so many Americans? Part of that answer is people like living in mobile home communities. Are less expensive, and many have lots of amenities, although most here at Myrtle Beach certainly aren't very glamorous. A quarter of all people who live in mobile homes are retired, but 60% of people who live in mobile homes work a full-time job, and the average household income for people who live in trailer parks is less than half the national average.
Less than half the national average. What is that number? 60% are poor. They work a job, rather. And we would assume that they had it a higher income bracket, perhaps 75,000 or more, they would choose to live in an apartment, condo, or a house. Could you live here? Could you live in a trailer on someone else's property? I put up a poll. We'll read the results of that poll. Amenities. What amenities could you have? You're still close to somebody I don't care for. I don't think no one should be paying a mortgage and they can look through somebody else's window for leisure or because they don't really have a damn choice. I went to a place last year when I was doing rideshare, and I picked up someone from a trailer park out in the county, Knox County, and I think they had a swimming pool. Kind of threw me off because I wasn't expecting to see a community pool. But I think they had a community pool. And I wasn't expecting to see that. But now that I have more information pertaining to this trailer park living on lots, I don't think I would buy a trailer and then have to pay you a lot fee. And as you'll hear in this commentary, that it can range up into $1,000 or more a month, you paying somebody a lot fee. So what is the point in owning this long metal container to only pay $1,000 or more a month, but I own this container? That don't make no sense. I'm not on the StreamYard, Gigi. You're the second person to come in the live wanting to get on the StreamYard. And then when I ask you all to come up on the StreamYard, y'all don't want to come. I'm on my device, so I can't do the StreamYard on here. What is the point to pay for a container? Pay a lot fee for this lot, this patch of grass, and this is not your patch, it's somebody else's. Help me understand. Excuse me. Because obviously people are doing this. They are buying trailers or have bought trailers, and they live in a mobile park, but they pay a lot fee to house the trailer onto it. Or they buy the trailer already on the lot. But as this man is saying in his commentary, it can get very expensive paying the lot fee. So really you are losing by paying someone money to, rather, you bought their trailer or you carried your trailer there and put it on the lot to only pay a lot fee. That makes no sense. Because now where's the value in your trailer? If you are paying someone a lot fee to house your trailer, how are you winning? You're not winning. And I don't think Americans understand that, because I had no idea this was going on. I knew nothing about it. So I've learned something new today. How does it have value, Gigi? How do you have value on somebody else's property? I don't understand what you're saying. You're the second person to come to chat saying that. I don't see how it has any value. How does it have value? You don't own the lot. I'm talking about people who do not own the lot. I'm talking this lot belongs to Ray Ray, and you move in here. Either you brought your trailer or you bought his trailer, and he's charging you money for the trailer. How does it have value? I don't see it. So if this trailer is yours, but this is not yours, if the person who owns this decides to sell this and this road and everything in it, now what are you going to do with this metal container? I'm just saying. Now you have to find somewhere to move your trailer, as this case was happening out in Blount County, right next door to Knoxville. People are being evicted from this mobile park. They have nowhere to go. So they were either renting from the owner, or perhaps they had their own trailer on his lot. So as I said, if the person has his or her trailer on the lot, now they are in a pickle because the owner is selling the property and they have a short window to get off the property. Meaning, if they own the trailer, they can't take the trailer because they don't have anywhere to take it. So explain to Queen how this makes sense and is valuable. Obviously, nobody's listening to what I'm saying. I'm not saying they haven't been doing it for years, Skylar. I'm saying I didn't know anything about it. How would I know about trailer park living if I've never lived in a trailer? I've never lived in a trailer. I told you that when I used to wash at the laundromat at the trailer park, I wondered why they had a sign on the door saying, "We're not renting trailers," which I thought was strange. So I thought, why are they saying that? Well, now I know why. Because there are people who own their trailer, but they're paying a lot fee, which I never knew that until today. All I'm saying is, I can't win if I don't own the land and this person says they want me gone for whatever reason, whether they're selling it, they're evicting me for trouble, whatever. The point is, if I don't have no money, I can't move this off the damn land. That's what I'm trying to make people understand. Y'all making it so difficult. You can't win if you can't get this thing off of here. So anything can happen to the person that owns the property. What are you going to do? He gets sick, somebody else comes in, takes over, somebody wants you gone. The person ain't been paying their taxes on the land, duh. The city, the town is seizing the property. They send everybody a notice. Now I got to find a way to get this off of here. But I don't have no money. That's my point. Could you live in a trailer on somebody else's land? Number one, and pay a lot fee. Number two, could you live in a trailer on your own property? Why would you choose to live in a trailer versus a house? Those are the questions I'm posing for this live stream.
The economics of trailer park life is all over the place. Some own their mobile homes. New single-wide units run about $50,000, and double-wide trailers can run about $80,000 to $90,000. Though, again, there's very few fancy mobile homes here in Myrtle Beach. Sometimes folks own their trailers and pay lot rent, anywhere from $300 to $2,000 a month, with additional costs like electricity and water. Other times, the very poor will rent both the trailer and the lot, and the trailer park owners will take cash from people with bad credit. But even if you own your trailer, you can still be evicted off the lot. That's troublesome. It can cost $4,000 to move your trailer to a new park, but many are impossible to move without damaging them.
Exactly.
80% of trailers just like this will never leave their original spots.
Hey, Penny. Brief intermission. $300 to $2,000 a month for lot fees. It's a lot of money. And you own the damn trailer. Lord have mercy. Welcome to America.
The whole trailer park thing took off in the 1930s during the Great Depression. Out of necessity,
wow, look at the older ones.
Living in trailers, which were designed for traveling. They often parked their trailers on the outskirts of cities, and that's how they became associated with the working class and impoverished people. And the trailer park life never really caught on across the world, though Canada has a large number of mobile home parks.
I never thought Canada had them.
Are notoriously dangerous. The wiring is susceptible to fires. The insulation isn't thick enough. They're just dangerous. Building codes back then didn't have high standards, so you have units with structural decay, non-functional plumbing, and deteriorating doors and windows.
Well, let's talk about that. There are people who are still living in trailers that are not up to par. Plumbing, electrical. Why would you pay money to even rent one? Once again, that is not up to par. And even if it's a nice trailer, double wide, triple wide, however you want to word it, even on your own private land, family's land, you have to think about the jurisdiction that you live in, such as places that have hurricanes and tornadoes and flooding. So that's why I asked this questions. Private land or not. You have to think of a worst case scenario, such as storm comes and these trees decide to fall. They're going to fall and crush this trailer. Stay woke. We've seen this with many hurricane season incidents as of late. Didn't really matter what you were in. Apartment, house, trailer, you lost. So you assume with even a trailer, a person has insurance on their trailer if they own it for any type of incidents that can go awry. But as I have learned, even with having insurance, you have to have certain types of insurance per the incident, such as you can have full coverage insurance on your car, but you got to have a certain type of insurance in case somebody decides to break the window out. Ask the Queen how she knows about that. Full coverage insurance, but yet somebody cracks the rear vent window, break it out. I still had to pay for the rear vent window because I didn't have the certain clause of insurance to cover broken glass. Same thing with a house, flood insurance. You can have full coverage for the house, but if you don't have flood insurance, you're not about to get a damn dime if your house goes underwater. You are shit out of luck. And this is why you have to ask all the pertinent questions when you get insurance. Because a lot of times we're in a hurry, we're trying to hurry up and get things done. And if you get an agent that ain't knowledgeable, him or herself, or they just forget to tell you, you're sitting here lolly-da, walking around with your car, driving around with your car, something bad happens to your car, and then you call an agent, and then they say, oh, I'm sorry, you don't have that. I forgot what they call the insurance for the glass, for the window, for the windshield. You don't have that type of insurance. You didn't have it in there. And you're looking like, well, hell, you're the agent. Why didn't you tell me? Why didn't you tell me? Or you forgot, or I forgot. So it's the same thing with a house. Flooding, you live in a flood zone, you need to have flood insurance. Insurance doesn't cover one of these trees falling on your house. Trailer, barn, it's all the same. So once again, can you live here in a trailer on someone else's private property that is not your own?
It's easy for water, bugs, and pests to get in. And of course, these aren't very stable. 40% of all tornado deaths are mobile home residents. Now, part of the draw for mobile home parks is the whole American freedom mantra. You could pack up and move if you wanted to, though that would be cost prohibitive. But the bigger reason for living in trailers is economics. It's clearly cheaper to live in them, allowing families with very low income levels to scrape by with shelter. And as we know, it's tougher and tougher for people to find housing they can afford. Houses aren't being built fast enough to keep up with the population.
Very true.
And affordable homes are being purchased as investments or rented out on Airbnb.
They are.
Or being torn down for fancy new condos.
Exactly.
So are trailer parks like this the answer to affordable housing? Is this our solution to finding enough housing for our poor population? I mean, here's an example of a brand new mobile home community springing up the day I was in Myrtle Beach. This doesn't look too bad at all. You can picture a lot of families feeling a sense of pride living in a place like this.
Wow. Not too close to the other houses.
What's been going on in Florida for a long time. There's some fancy mobile home parks in Florida, but there's a lot of really run-down trailer parks right in the heart of some communities down there. A good friend of mine Jose Rodriguez over at the YouTube channel Southern Life drove through some trailer parks in the Fort Myers area with some of the worst conditions you might see in this country. Parks like this can be considered affordable housing, but the cramped conditions and the overall blight are not most people's idea of living the dream. So right now I'm talking to Jose Rodriguez from Southern Life on YouTube. What's up, Jose? A lot of people know your channel.
Yeah, Southern Life on YouTube, man. What's up?
Yeah. So I'm doing a video on the trailer park capital of the world, South Carolina. I went down to Myrtle Beach, all around. There's trailers everywhere, trailer parks, mobile home parks. You had some perspective. You lived in a mobile home community for a while. Give people an idea on what it's like to live in a mobile home or in a trailer like that.
Yeah, of course. It's not like a regular community where, houses are site built. In a mobile home park, it's a little bit more informal, It's affordable housing, so it just draws a different crowd than, let's say, a gated community. My perspective has been it's pretty challenging, especially like we got hurricanes come along or tornadoes in the south. Nothing like being in a mobile home during a tornado warning or waiting for a hurricane.
Exactly. It's scary.
What's it like day to day in there? Cramped quarters. What's it like inside? Like, I don't really know what it's like to live in a trailer or a mobile home.
At times it's humiliating because you feel like you're inferior. Some people don't care, but there's a lot of people who have like an inferiority complex about it. Like a lot of my friends who we went to school with, they would lie about where we lived. And if we were going to meet friends from another neighborhood, we'd meet them at the corner store, at the mall. We wouldn't really have them come over to our neighborhood because once they see those living conditions, it's kind of embarrassing. Think about this, like a mobile home, underneath it, you have insulation underneath the floor, and it's perfect for a possum to just pop up in there and say, hey, free roof,
Very true. Very true.
I remember one day I was going to school like at 4:30 in the morning. I wake up, I'm just getting ready, walk into my closet, and the possum had eaten through the OSB flooring.
Wow.
And here I am at 4:30 in the morning getting ready for school. There's a freaking possum in my closet staring back at me. And, when possums, when they settle down in your mobile.
We'll stop right there. Feel free to finish the content. 25-minute long video. Copyright ownership to Nick Johnson. A possum has crawled in your trailer. Imagine that. Imagine waking up, hearing something scurrying around, making noise, and see a big old possum inside of your domain, which is a trailer. Now you have to figure out how the possum got in the trailer and repair the trailer and also get that possum out of there, which is dangerous business as well. Because you should know, as he mentioned, the host of this channel, bugs, insects can make their way into the trailer just like they make their way into apartments. I can speak formally. I live in an apartment, and ladybugs love this little bedroom. Every time I go over there, open that window, somehow he find their way in due to this warm weather we keep having on and off, and they make their way in here. So imagine ladybugs one day, flies one day, a gnat. There's also right near the garbage chute on the hallway. So that's a problem for gnats making their way in. And then you got to worry about brown brothers, God forbid, bed bug, because you're living around people and you're closed up with other people. And that's the one reason why many people don't like living in apartments, condos, because you have to worry about bugs traveling in. Now, you're in something like this that is substandard, not above board. Anything can get into there. Possum, rat, ladybug, stink bug, and also a two-legged creature. And I bet you all didn't think about that as well. A two-legged creature can easily make his way or her way into a trailer because there's not much to it. And the doors aren't going to be very heavy unless you put you a heavy door onto the trailer. And many people probably move into a trailer. God forbid, they're renting it from someone. They're not even thinking about putting a heavy door onto the trailer. Just thinking, hell, I need a place to live. As you heard in this commentary, many poor people live in trailer parks, mobile homes, mobile parks. They can't afford to live anywhere else. The housing boom is out of control. There's not enough housing in the counties or cities or towns around. And they're steady building houses here. Apartments rather. It's still not enough. We have at least 2,000 people homeless here in Knoxville, Tennessee. We have people still living with other people, friends, relatives. We have people getting evicted out their apartments every day. People can't afford the rent. It is bad. And I'm sure this crisis is all over the United States. Please check out his content, Mr. Johnson. He has another video pertaining to homelessness in San Francisco, California. And maybe I'll come back later this week. We could talk about the homeless epidemic that is a crisis here in the United States. And then we have this migrant issue. It's even worse because now those people are living here and they don't have anywhere to go. So the American dream isn't really all that American now, is it? And that's what people need to understand. You come to this country thinking you're going to have this great life, but you came here illegally without a plan. And you don't have a plan because you came here illegally. And you got people who've lived here all their life and thought they had a plan, and things have not worked in their favor. The American dream. Is this your American dream? Could you live in a place that looks similar to this, that is not above board, substandard living, because you needed a place to live? Many people have. Whether it was on their own land, family land, or on someone else's property. But I'm just giving my opinion. I'm not getting ready to pay anyone a lot fee for my trailer because I don't see me winning in the end. Because what I have to use is deduction. This is just like I'm renting my own trailer that I said I pay for and it's in my name. Anything happens to the owner, anything happens to the property, they don't pay their taxes. There's some type of fraud. They want me evicted. My trailer don't have no damn value. If I got to now try to figure a way to get the trailer off the property, and or if I got to find an owner to buy the trailer. And that's what people don't seem to understand. If you get a 30-day notice, you got to then go through the court systems. You also got to try to figure out what to do with your property, your trailer that you own on someone else's lot. And it's one thing to be facing eviction and trying to find somewhere to live, or the person selling the property and they're giving you so much time to get off the property. You now own this big metal box and you don't even have the money to move it somewhere else, which requires a plot of land. That's the point I've been trying to make. Hold on a minute, shut my window. Some nonsense going on out here. Lord, give it a rest. Crazy person out there. Everyone's entitled to his or her own opinion. But I always try to speak from a logical standpoint. That sometimes what you think is best is not best down the road. And anybody knows that substandard living, it doesn't matter what it is, you're going to have a problem down the road, and you'll be probably trying to find somewhere else to live. And I know people have to live where they can afford or what comes available at that time. But I personally am not going to buy anything such as a home or trailer, and now I have to pay extra money to house that trailer house on land, somebody else's land, my personal opinion, because I don't see how that's going to be beneficial to me. And as I said, you always have to count a worst case scenario pertaining to living on someone else's property. That's just common sense. Anything can happen to the person. They want you gone. They owe money. The property seized. Now you have to get off the property. And now you've got to move this box here with short notice. This is a 3-part live pertaining to a young woman by the name of Juniper Bryson, who attempted to sell her baby on Facebook. She is now facing felony charge in Texas, $60,000 bail. Don't know if she made it. No one obviously bought her child, and I don't even know where her child is. I'm assuming possibly foster care. Don't know. You also have to ask the question, why didn't she ask a relative to keep her child or raise her child? A relative is the one that posted the post to social media that the woman needed help with her child, but she stated she didn't know that the woman was wanting to sell her baby until later. So now we have to ask, well, why didn't you take the child in? Stay woke, everybody. That's the part of the story that was left out. You're posting to social media, she needs help finding someone to give her baby to. Why didn't you take the child in? Where's her family? Lots of questions, no answers. See, I ask all the questions nobody likes to ask. Was this an elderly person? Person who had too many children themselves? Somebody who didn't want any children? Who is the relative to her? And why didn't they want to take in her child? Where is the child now? How much time will she get? Jail, probation, what? For trying to sell her child, because she is facing a felony. Now to Mr. Ryan out of Wisconsin. He attempted to fake his death back in the summer. He has been found out. He has been in cahoots with law enforcement in Wisconsin. Released a video of him talking where he says he is fine, but he is now planning to return to the United States to be reunited with his children and his wife. And the fact that these law enforcement think that he's going to come home and be with them for Christmas makes no damn sense. He left them. He took money from an insurance policy, cashed it, and ran with the money. Attempted to fake his death. Went to a foreign country to be with another woman, allegedly. You all made contact with a certain foreign woman to get in contact with him. How they did that, I don't know, but they dug deep. So if he went through all this trouble to be with her, escape his life, whatever the hell was going on with this man, the point is, he is not getting ready to come back for Thanksgiving or come back for Christmas. Perhaps this is law officials' attempt to try to get him back here to prosecute him for whatever they can try to prosecute him for, but he is not coming back. And more than likely, if he is in what I would call a third world country, a country with strict dictatorship, especially a Russian country, Asian country, you are talking to yourself. They're not going to even waste their breath extraditing a man back to the United States because he left his wife and children and cashed out an insurance policy. And then you got to also know that this was a country that has extradition laws. And more than likely, he's somewhere where he won't be extradited. Because he hasn't murdered anyone, he hasn't killed anyone. He made a sound choice to leave his wife and children. And I feel sorry for them, because that's a hell of a burden to carry around. Everybody knows who you are, and you've got to feel like you've got to explain why your man left you, why your father left you. That's a terrible place to be. But she will get over this in time, the wife, because she has to, one, know her value. And her value is not to be attached at the hip of a liar. He has proven who he is. He has proven his worth. So she doesn't need to explain anything to anyone about their relationship, what went on behind closed doors, because no one is perfect. But this was a coward. This is a cowardly way to leave a relationship, to just disappear. And we see this all the time, as they call it, ghosting. People ghost people all the time in relationships, courtships. First time meeting a person, calling a person, they get mad for some reason, something they don't like about them. They ghost them, block them, delete them. Sadly, she had a whole relationship and children in a home with him. So as I asked all the questions at the beginning of this live stream, who is he? Who is she? What kind of life did they have? What kind of problems did they have? What was the real reason he left? How long did he plan this ruse? And why did he contact law enforcement to say he is alive? They already put together that he is alive. So why give a receipt, sir, that you are alive? Why? How does the wife feel? How do the children feel? How does his family, friends, neighbors, coworkers feel? Had he done anything like this before? Took off, didn't tell his wife? Had he been having an affair before he met this woman? Where did he meet her? Online? Possibly so. Date site? Possibly so. And is she a grifter? Because as I said before, what would be ironic and possibly funny to some? She's a grifter looking for a payday herself, and she found the perfect mark in this man. And she had some plans of her own with Mr. Ryan. Little did he know or knows. And what will be really jacked up if we find out Ryan is found floating somewhere. And this Russian-speaking woman has, poof, voila, disappeared herself with Ryan's money. Checkmate. Imagine that. 3-part live. Low down dirty husband. Fakes death. Tried to. Woman attempts to sell baby on Facebook. Now incarcerated. Facing a felony. And could you live in a trailer? On your own property or on someone else's property? That's my commentary. Like, share, subscribe, drop your comments below. Follow the Queen on the Newsbreak app. Take the polls on my community page. Comment below this video. Check out my last live stream pertaining to Seth Rogers. Was he set up by the Proudfoots? Great live. Let's go over those results. Did K&C implicate Seth? 59% yes. 28% no. Not sure. 13%. Should trailers be allowed as private homes or rented? 6% says no. 82% says yes. Not sure. 11%. Can you live or rent in a trailer or buy it and pay a lot fee to the owner? 4% said neither. 5% said rent only. Buy it, pay a lot fee, 22%. Both, 69%. Here's the video. South Carolina, the trailer park capital of the world. Mr. Nick Johnson. Check out his YouTube channel. Brian Kohlberger wants evidence thrown out. Do you agree or disagree? Yes, 29%. No, 60%. Not for sure, 12%. Who the hell is the not for sure and the yes out of 42 votes? Dear God. Does Sumner County have leads in Sebastian Rogers' case? 12% yes, 59% no, 16% not sure, 14% possibly a few. Do you think that people have been calling in faux tips to dog the bounty tip line? Yes, 75%. 7% no. 13% not sure. 5% 50-50. Did Sumner County investigate new Sebastian Rogers tip? 16% yes. 55% no. 29% not sure. And did the person call 911 about Sebastian tip first before calling Dog the Bounty Hunter's tip line? Yes, 11%. No, 54%. Not sure, 32%. Second, they called 911 second, 4%. Check out Empty Nest Refresh, free on the Roku channel. This is a program about young people paying it forward to their parents because they are leaving their parents' houses and they wanted to remodel a room in their parents' home to show their appreciation for the gratitude the parents have shown them by raising them. Very good show. Going over all my questions. City of Chicago still plans to pursue $120,000 civil suit against Jussie Smollett for wasted resources. Weigh in. Yes, 81%. The city needs that money. 12% no, 8% not sure. Illinois Supreme Court overturned Jussie Smollett's conviction. Right or wrong? Right, 4%. Wrong, 7%. Not sure, 26%. For those who did not know, his conviction was overturned because the Supreme Court believes he was tried 2 times, which is against the law in America to be tried for the same crime twice. Will Puffy get a bail on Monday? 10% yes, 71% no, 5% not sure, 14% hope not. Tomorrow, Sean will have a hearing to determine bail. Should he get a bail? And good old chunky, creamy chicken bacon carbonara soup, what the Queen had the other day for a late lunch. It was pretty good. Little seasoning, little bacon bits. And Susan Smith is still currently incarcerated in the state of South Carolina. She was denied parole last week for killing her 2 small children. That's my commentary. If you'd like to donate to this great network, $BeGanji129 Cash App. Stickers and chats are always welcome during the live stream. 3-part live, everybody. Check out the live earlier pertaining to Seth Rogers. Was he implicated by the Proudfoots? Did they tell investigators to look at him in the disappearance of his son, Sebastian? Great live. Check it out. I'll be back this week with more stimulating content and commentary. Don't know what I have on the table, but tomorrow I will discuss the bail hearing pertaining to Sean Puffy Combs. And I don't know what else I would talk about because so far I've knocked out all my subjects for the week. Finally got in this content about the man trying to fake his death and the girl selling the baby, trying to sell the baby. Don't you find it interesting? I had 2 subject matters in the same live where people attempted to do something wrong. One got caught and the other one fled out of the country. Wow, wow, wow. Will the husband return to his wife and kids or to America? Probably not. Will he be extradited? I say probably not, because that's a lot of money. They'll have to prove some type of fraud or theft to bring forward a charge against Mr. Ryan. My best advice to the wife is to move on. Just be grateful for life and pray that the next person you meet will not have the same qualities as your husband. File for divorce, for abandonment, and move on. My prayers are with her. My prayers are also with Seth Rogers. If you see something, say something. Be a part of the solution, not the problem. Mind the children. Thank you, Penny. You have a happy Thanksgiving as well. And yes, happy Thanksgiving to all of those of you who are celebrating this holiday. Happy holidays. Be safe. Be mindful of your belongings. This is the time for theft. So we may talk about that later in the week. Be mindful of your purchases, shopping, posting stuff to social media, giving your whereabouts. Do not put TV boxes, radio boxes, iPad boxes outside the garbage can where it can be noticed by others. Throw it in or pack it down into the trash can. Do not sit it outside your trash can where people can see what you have bought. Don't post it to social media. Don't tell people you got a lump sum of money. And do not shop late night by yourself, carrying bunches of parcels bags to the car. Make sure somebody can pick up your parcels delivered by UPS, FedEx. If you're not going to be at home, there will be porch pirates running around now because they know more people will be ordering things online. Please be aware of your surroundings at your house and shopping. Just beware. And please be safe shopping, especially you ladies by yourselves. Because this is the time that people also can be hurt going to and from their cars. And if you know you're going to be going to the mall and buying a lot of things, you need to make a few trips to the car. You best be with somebody and do this during the day if you can. You do not want to be going back and forth to the car, even at the mall, because there'll be people also sitting in cars and vans watching you. And you can get hijacked right at your own car. So please be aware of your surroundings. And I am not here to say they won't do it to you during the daylight. Just be aware. Thanks, Penny. Thank you, Gigi. Thank you all for joining me. Skylar, you all have a wonderful week. I will be posting a movie of the week. It'll be a throwback from the 80s or the 70s. And I got a good one for you all. Those of you who are a little bit older and lived through the 70s, I have a movie of the week for your entertainment. And I cannot wait to post it. And I will post it right after this live stream. Whole month of throwback movies from the 70s and 80s. Last week's movie was Fatal Attraction. Glenn Close, Michael Douglas, famous movie. Lesson should be learned. Don't sleep around. Yes. Check me out. I'm getting ready to share it now to social media, to YouTube. You'll never guess the movie, and you will be surprised. But I will say this. She's an older lady. I don't think she's passed away. But she's an icon, TV business, movie business. She's been in the business a very long time. It is a thriller. It will keep you on the edge of your seat. And it also has another famous male actor as the lead detective in the movie. Thank you for your time. You have been listening to the Vault XL. Find you something to do, honey.